What are you slowly losing interest in as you grow older? Dating. They say there are plenty of fish in the sea. You know what else there is plenty of in the sea? Trash. Lots of trash. Trying to date feels like a second job or having multiple job interviews. I get tired of getting random DCK pics, getting ghosted, or having a guy just wanting to smash. I stayed from the beginning that we aren't having sex, I'm not doing one night stands, and I'm not gonna be your friend with benefits. Yet they still try to push it. It is annoying and exhausting, like, being single and dying alone with a bunch of cats isn't the threat people think it is. Lol. Basically everything. But since it's almost Christmas, I will say I'm not into the holidays anymore, that's for sure. My grandparents and dad are dead, I don't have children or a lot of money, I don't need junk, my mom and sister clash and make family stuff hostile at times, plus my sister goes too over the top with gifts and then is disappointed with what she gets even if it's exactly what she asked for. I never know WTF to get for my in-laws and I just don't care about anything. I haven't really even watched any Christmas movies this year, stresses me out and I just want it over with. I've lost interest in being angry with my parents. And, mind you, I am not saying I changed my mind about them. My parents were truly shitty people, throughout my life, and still are in many ways even if siblings tell me they've gotten better. I had every right to be mad. I had every right to cut them out because I was tired of trying to repair a relationship while swallowing down the anger and resentment. I don't like to be angry anymore. It doesn't fuel me, it makes me weary. There are only so many times I can get angry at the past. Travel. I traveled lots in my 20s and 30s. But it has worn me down. I no longer have the interest that I used to in visiting new places. I still love learning about different places and cultures, but the act of travel itself has worn me out. The stress that comes with organizing trips, the hassles with airlines, the massive queues at airports and having to sit on a cramped plane simply takes a huge chunk of the enjoyment of travel away. The idea of a holiday is to experience relaxation, not increased anxiety. This might sound cold, but being a support for people that are stuck in cycles of distorted thinking, arrested development, and substance use. I used to be the shrink of my friend group, but now I'm like, well, that's your problem. Don't get me wrong, if someone's struggling with a legitimate crisis I'll be there for them as I would hope they would for me. What I won't do anymore is be a sympathetic ear while they cry about problems they created or issues they refuse to address properly. Being a striver at work. I'm nearing retirement age and I'm tired. Over the last year I've started easing off of being the most helpful, busiest, highest producer and have fallen more into answering questions and guiding my younger co-workers. They are good at what they do, they have many more years and far more energy than me. Not to say I'm not doing my job, I am still clicking all the boxes daily. I just let other people strive now and I have no competition left in me. Making people happy. I have a limited amount of time and energy. I have kids and family and friends that I love. They get priority. Is my aunt upset I'm not coming to Thanksgiving this year? Too bad. Is that old acquaintance frustrated that I'm not making myself available to help her again? I'm sorry to hear that. Sure, I'm all for random acts of kindness and the like, but I'm no longer available to spread myself so thin. I'm transparent. I'm only 24 but I'm seriously done with alcohol. It used to be quite the habit ever since I was around 16. I haven't partaken in that or cannabis for almost 6 months and my mental clarity has never been better. The high of being sober with the help of cold showers, confused face, is amazing. I only wish everyone could try these methods and see how it works for them. Alcoholism has run rampant in my family for generations, so I hope to prevent it now. Sports. When I was a kid, pro athletes were the coolest people in the world. Now, I realize there's really nothing special about them other than they're the most talented people in the world at exactly one very specific skill set, which fortunately for them is a huge fan base and thus pays a lot of money if you're the best at it. But other than for entertainment purposes, it's really not that important of a skill set. Professional sports. I'm bored with grown adults pushing almost $1 billion to play a game. I'm tired of hearing about Otani. I'm tired of people saying LeBron is the GOAT because he wiped his nose. I'm tired of the NFL and the psychotic over-analysis of every single play from multiple angles. I still like college football, but even that is getting to me with signing days, 5 stars, transfer portals and the such being all made up every time I leave the house. In my teens 20s I wouldn't dream of even putting gas in the car without makeup and at least an unwrinkled outfit. I'm now halfway through my 40s, half the time don't realize until I'm arriving at my destination that I haven't looked in a mirror at all that day. The cashiers at my local gas station are almost as familiar with my jammies as my bed sheets are anime. When I was a teenager I said to myself that if I lost everything, I'd be happy as long as I can watch anime for the rest of my life. At one point I was watching 8-10 different shows a season, but 10 years later of consistently watching shows, now I only watch 1 or 2 shows a season, and even great shows don't have that same buzz and awe they gave me in the beginning. Education. After a certain age, I would put it at 25, formal further education becomes a strain and I find the rewards to be underwhelming in an age of overeducation. Experience and applied skills are much more valuable, which can be achieved through education. However, I think too much time is spent on assignments that are just a background hassle. Reddit debates with younger people demanding evidence for my views. Sometimes I just want to present my views so you get an alternative, and leave it at that. I am satisfied with the evidence I have, and I am also confident that no amount of debate will shift anyone who is belligerently convinced of their position, whether it be me or my opponent. College football. I used to watch ESPN and listen to sports talk radio daily and would lose sleep sometimes if my team lost. I used to know the 3 deep depth chart and knew all the kids that were being recruited by my rooting interest. Now, I still watch the games, but don't keep up with anything else, and I couldn't care less if they lose. The self-checkout line. If I have my box of Lucky Charms, fine. However, having self-checkout is the only option when I have half a cart full just brings my piss to a boil anymore, almost to the point where I want to leave. I don't, though. I don't want to be the guy causing more work on someone or wasting perishables. Honestly, having friends. I'm in my early 40s and for the longest time it depressed me that I didn't have a circle of friends or even long-term friends. I found that the older I get, the less I care. I've got a wife who I adore and 4 children who fill my heart. Why care about anything outside that? Fantasy novels. I've read the same story so many times that it doesn't matter if there's a new twist on the old story, or if the writing is stellar. I lose interest and put the book down without finishing it. In fact, I do that with other books too. It just feels like it's harder to impress me these days. Cinema. It's just so bland these days, and what were once subtle messages and metaphors are just full-blown in your face and comes across as self-righteous. I couldn't even tell you the last movie I saw in theaters. I went from easily going 2-3x a month to going 2-3x in the last 5 years. With the skyrocketing prices, substandard food from restaurants. I hate disappointing myself paying $60 worth of garbage food. So I always end up cooking my own. Am I the best cook? Heck no, but at least I don't pay someone my hard-earned money for something I can do better. Debating. I fucking loved to debate about any and everything when I was young. Now that I'm in my 30s, I like a good discussion, but if someone is completely opposed to me, I just let it go. What's the point? I'm almost certainly not going to convince them of anything. Dating. What's the point of getting dressed up and going out if it's very likely it's another layer, catfish, and it looks like they just rolled out of bed? If on the off chance they aren't any of those things, they have the personality social skills of a brick wall. Homelessness and old age. I have little interest in a number of things. Sports, for one. And the hobbies I used to have. Book reading. Stargazing. Photography. Homeless life is pretty bad in cold, unforgiving New York. Hopefully things will change in 2024. Religion. Like, I don't care. I had one. I don't anymore. No, I don't want to hear about yours. No, I don't want to explain my beliefs. No, I am not hating on you by saying I don't want to discuss. Just so fucking done with everything religion. I'm done with going to family events we are invited to despite never seeing these people otherwise. I refuse to be coerced or made to feel weird for not wanting to spend 7 hours either a bunch of drunk people who I don't really know or care about. The holidays. I'm over it. There's too much expectations, even when you're struggling financially. People still expect crap, not to mention, it's constantly in your face, and holidays also means mass crowds of people. I wish they didn't exist. People who ask questions online and get offended when someone who has life experience answers. If you are offended, either you got caught insulting something or someone, or you just want assurances that you are not wrong. New music. I kept up with it right up until my mid-40s. Now I just listen to all the music from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. I never understood why my parents listened to the same old shit when I was younger, but now I get it. Going to stores to shop. Going to festivals. Just going to events in particular. The mental energy it takes these days have me always tired. I enjoy staying at home, with my coffee, blanket, and something to read. Anything that doesn't directly affect me, my family, my pets, or my 401k. Social media? Yawn. Politics. I roll. Global wars. Am neither a soldier nor a politician. Let the warmongers play their games. Reading or watching smut. I realized after I got married that I was into sex scenes because I had no sex life of my own before I got married. Now that I have a partner, it's just not that interesting to me. Sports. The bullshit media, the asinine storylines, the constant unreasonable hate the athletes get, the pointless debates and the dumbass fans. It all makes such an incredible form of art so exhausting. Anger. I will get mad at the world. I will listen to YouTube videos that were primarily bashing things for how bad they are. Now, I don't have an interest in primarily negative things. At 47, so many things. Example, I used to go out for walks and long hikes. That's down to almost zero. Buying gifts for people. Most don't even say thank you. Kind of gave up on that. Growing older, I don't care about seeking constant approval. Now, I prioritize authenticity, personal growth, and meaningful connections, valuing depth over superficial validation. My patience for slow internet. I used to watch pixels load like it was modern art. Now, if a page takes more than 2 seconds, I'm convinced my Wi-Fi is plotting against me. Worrying about what people think of me. I genuinely don't worry about it anymore, and I feel like it's a pretty big positive for me being anxious and depressed.